Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here at AVAX, double checking a few key factors, seeing what's going on. We are actually looking pretty strong, but also potential divergence here forming. So if we take a look at this ascending trend line, it's running concurrent with the 20-day SMA, right? While it's not exact, it just gives us an indication that, hey, this is an area we want to pay attention to. With us breaking below the 20-day SMA now, there's a solid chance we're going to see further downside. It doesn't necessarily mean that the price just drops from here, but generally when I look for trend reversal, the 4-hour 20-day SMA is a good starting point, okay? So we're gonna look at a few other things, see if there's anything else we can recognize or identify, perhaps even on the back end. And in the meantime, I just wanna say thank you again so much for watching. Comment below if you get a chance. More importantly, just hit that like button. Get this in front of more people so less moon boys can destroy other people's accounts. And you can just kind of learn and maybe become a better trader yourself, right? If you want that for yourself, of course, CryptoCache.tech is a site linked down below. I do have a trading academy, community, and signals group. Future reference too, we have trade alerts. This is kind of a newer feature for us, as well as making sure that you read through the signals guide. I have to suggest this on most videos because some people just jump right in and don't quite know what to do. So I get it. Trust me, you get excited. It's fun to do, but there's a certain structure that I have with my trades, and it's important to recognize that. Okay. So let's take a look here at AVAX back-end data quickly in a note and work our way down. So there is a lot of liquidation at $26 even. We see this previous support level. That's where a lot of this liquidation comes from. People feel confident taking a long there. They feel confident taking a second long here because this is a double bottom potential forming. I don't necessarily think that. You could even justify this as a triple bottom too, if you really want to stretch it. But again, you don't trade only you don't trade only patterns. You want to try to trade everything included, right? I mean, I know some people that find some success with just trading Elliott Wave alone, but if you don't do the other stuff too, you're cutting yourself short. I think personally, that's just me. Again, I like to use Elliott Wave, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the only thing, right? So again, diversify if you can, and what we want to look at here, of course, is lower liquidation levels, somewhere in the range of about 600 million at 26 to 25. So that would probably be the next target for the whales to push the price action down. You could argue the same thing at $29 upwards of 30. There's a solid amount of liquidation there, even more above the price action. But unless Bitcoin can pull its head from its ass and continue further up, I think AVAX is due to correct itself. Again, if you take a look at this chart and you compare it with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's been going sideways and now breaking its range to the downside. We look at AVAX, it's kind of been jumping up and down, but it's essentially establishing lower highs and lower lows, and also concurrently parallel lows. So again, generally speaking, this is a positive sign. We usually see this break to the upside, but on the more, to kind of make it simple, you don't trade just patterns, right? So let's go ahead and see here where we're at, and let's go from there. Enough speculation. Let's look at, first of all, our fair value gap here. There is a solid amount of liquidation and or fair value. And what fair value is, basically just a candle that has not seen any retracement, and there's a lot of chances the price pulls back to that range. Main reason why, because there's a lot of profit there left to be taken from those who push the price action higher. Because you got to recognize market makers, they're pushing the price right here. This is usually the secondary market there where it's people like you and I moving the price action higher. That's why the whales push it right back down to here, because they can take profit all the way down to where they got in. Again, it's not exact, but that's roughly the idea. Having said all that, fair value gap tells us we have more inclination to see the price go down. We are above the 20 and the 50-day SMA still. Keep in mind this is a support range for us here. So this level of 23 to 25 loosely is an area we should experience some kind of support if the price pulls back. If we look at the RSI, we can see we're over 50, still got plenty of room to pull back, but also more importantly, mostly bullish here. Okay, these are good signs still, even though we're topped out and stochastic's pulling back, we're not in terrible shape. We can see, however, that MACD is starting to lose its momentum. That's kind of another indicator, just like the 20-day SMA on the 4-hour, right? So again, just to clarify, we are below the 20-day SMA for now on the 4-hour time frame, and you could recognize that we are breaking below an ascending trend line. Okay, that's essentially what that looks like. And now if we do take a look at the other moving averages, we can recognize that we're above all three, which is good. We are also over 50 on the RSI, while stochastic swinging down again for the second time. That carries more weight. We see MACD pulling back. There's not a lot of bearish divergence type of scenarios here. This isn't like a situation where it's like, oh my gosh, the price is going to flatline and just drop straight down. The truth is, if Bitcoin pulls back, AVAX will too. If Bitcoin holds its level, I think AVAX will maintain and continue higher. There's just a lot of reasons why AVAX isn't breaking bearish just yet. But again, I've identified the same scenario with Solana 2 being under the 20-day SMA on the 4-hour. usually just kind of like, it's like the start of a trend, okay? Now that may not continue, but it's still something that you want to recognize. We look here though at the Ichimoku Cloud. This is a confirmation in a lot of ways that we have broken bearish. You can see we've got stochastic, correction, I'm sorry. I always call it stochastic because it's the same color scheme, but we see the conversion line and the baseline. The conversion line is below the baseline, telling us we lost momentum. We can see the lagging span is free and clear of the price action. It's also a good sign too. And we can also recognize as well that we are underneath the cloud. And when I say good sign, I'm more so referring to those who are considering a short. Okay, this is a good sign that the price action is turned around. Now we also got our local point of control where the price action is rejecting at that $27 mark. So it seems to be sensible here that if you compare this chart with Bitcoin, I think AVAX is more likely to pull back than Bitcoin is. Okay. So again, I think there's a solid chance we're going to see the price action continue lower. There's a decent amount of fair value as well in the hourly and the 4-hour time frame. So again, if you're going to consider shorting, don't get super greedy. I would secure profits well below or well above $25. So we've already identified there's a decent amount of support in this range here. Okay, so again, a lot of reasons why AVAX is still strong on the macro, but from a micro perspective, the hourly, it does look like it wants to turn itself around and essentially has topped out for the moment. Okay, so again, it would make sense for the price to pull back. I mean, you look at the daily time frame here. We've seen what was T sequential. We're at an 8 right now. Okay, we've been moving basically higher for the last 8 days straight, or just say roughly a week. So when you have that kind of consistency and you have a larger fair value gap, I think it makes sense for the price to pull back a little further. So my anticipation, if I were to consider shorting, would be somewhere in the range of 25 to 24 as a close approximate for my take profit targets. I would ensure you secure profits before this 0.5 fib level, just because that's a common area of retracement, and it makes sense for the price action to do that. We can also recognize too, and I forgot to mention this, we're rejecting perfectly off 0.618 fib. Okay, so this is a golden pocket. That's a common area of retracement, so it would make sense for the price to do one of these, or possibly even one of these. Okay, they're just sensible, normal things. Now again, does it guarantee? No. If Bitcoin maintains this range and continues higher, doesn't even bother to come any lower, then I think AVAX might maintain this range and continue higher too. There's just a larger statistical probability, at least in the short term, that AVAX will drop. Okay, that's kind of my thoughts there. What are yours? Comment below. Love to hear it. Thanks again so much for watching. Hit the like button. Comment below. We'll go ahead and see where we're at here moving forward. I'll post our playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this. Don't trust anybody else. There are people that try to scam. And again, this is essentially my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, and they look something like this, my playout charts for specific coins that I cover. So future reference, that's all there for you. Thanks again. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.